Hey guys!
Hi friends, how are you?
Hope you're having a good week.
Took us a minute. We were having some issues, so glad that you could join us tonight. It's really nice to see you all.
Hope everyone is staying cozy. I know there's a lot of storms in lots of different places right now, so.
We're thinking about you.
Yeah.
We're thinking about all of you who are experiencing some power issues and
Snowed
lack
in.
of heat, and it's stressful. So I hope that you are taking care of yourselves and
Staying warm.
This is not an easy time. Hey Bethany. Could you see? Hello, Mary Claire. Hi Trace.
See if she's here?
Yeah. Would you please? Okay.
Oh, there she is.
There we are.
Hey there!
Hi.
Oh.
Hi.
Oh,
Let me adjust the screen.
It's so colorful behind you. I love it.
Oh.
Oh, there you go. Maybe.
Looks beautiful.
Try it. Okay, I think. Can you see me?
We can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yay.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm all right. It took me a while to get here. I got nervous because of the snow, but hi everybody, by the way. I got here. I'm fine. My husband is circling around and took my daughter out for a drink, for an aperitivo. She's 7. She knows what an aperitivo is, but we are fine. We're doing fine. I decided that I could not drive. I could not drive in. My car was, it was snowed in. So, but is a better driver for sure. So anyway, I'm here. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm nervous. I'm actually nervous.
Oh,
Don't be nervous. All we're doing is we just want to say hi and see how you're doing and
how it's been, how you've been getting through the crazy year and everything. And
Yeah.
what's going?
I was just saying, I just went live on our channel to let people know to move here, so that so that I could, some of my followers could join us here. And I was saying that I have not been home. Home still for me is Italy. I've not been home for over a year now because of the pandemic, and it's been tough. I'm Italian at heart, and going home to see my sister, especially, it's been difficult not spending the summer there or the winter skiing or going just to pick up all my stuff. And anyway, but we made it happen.
Yeah,
Sure.
How much time do you usually get to spend there in Italy each year?
Well, quite a lot, because I normally spend the summer, most of the summer there. Christmas and New Year, we go for Easter, and then we have. Then I normally travel in Europe because of the festival, those festival that we used to have, and travel for those. Then we have retreats in Italy, so we do that. And everything was canceled as well. And thank you for saying you love my show. And I'm just trying to see the chat as well. And so quite sometimes even 5-6 times. So this is the longest over the last probably 30 years that I stayed put in one place.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah. What someone is asking, what part of Italy are you from?
I'm from a small village on the Dolomites, on the north of Italy, just under the Austrian border. So it's really mountain. I'm a mountain girl. So I moved from the mountain of Italy to the mountain of Tibet, really. So
Wonderful.
So living in New York is still a shock.
Yeah. How long have you been living in New York?
In New York, well, that's a long story. I came to New York the first time in '99 when I joined the organization that I worked for, that then brought me to Tibet. But I was just staying for a month, and I loved it. I thought it was super nice, just the cinemas, the theater, the culture, the shopping, the food. And so I would just stay here for a month, but I started getting to know the city. And then I moved here 2008. Yeah. And tried to stay, at least a few months at a time. So I would say, 2008, 2009 is more, on a more permanent.
Cool, cool. So how did Tibet happen, and how long did you get to were you there?
Tibet happened through, in a nutshell. So well, I studied Oriental languages when I was, younger. Much younger for sure. I went to college to study Chinese specifically. And when nobody was studying Chinese, and it was really an exotic thing to do, and now it's a lot of more people enjoying, and it's more accessible and for a lot of people. Soon after I started, I just loved it so much, and I decided to leave Italy, and I went to China. I went to China, and I went to school there. I went to college there. I went to, I did some of my postgrad studies there, started working. And while I was traveling and being a student there, I traveled to Tibet. So when hardly nobody, Tibet was not open to foreigners. And so I spent some time there, really liked it, but it was a very short trip because I had to go back to Beijing to study. And I always wanted to go back. Then I started working in Beijing with a few not-for-profit organizations, but more at ministerial level, so like a high level, official level. And I always thought I wanted to go and work more at the grassroots level with the community and try to understand more from that side. And I got an opportunity, to join an American not-for-profit that had just started working on the Tibetan plateau. So they asked me, from Beijing, I moved to New York for like a week, and then they sent me to Tibet. And so I arrived there in September 99, and I stayed there like almost 8 years.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I lived there. I ran the organization there. We're doing a lot of different projects, mainly in like educational and healthcare, rural development, a lot of work with the women, but especially children. That was really the focus of my interest at the time, to try to work with improving the quality of education, and but also rural development. I spent months in the middle of nowhere building schools from scratch with the villagers, and working with Tibetan medicine. It was really interesting. It was really lovely. And at one point, the organization had just started a small cheese factory on the grassland to try to make a cheese out of the milk of the yak, the female of the yak. And so the cheese was not doing very well. I mean, they say, they started training, but the cheese, this quality was not very good. So I remember I was in 1 January, there's the time that I would come to New York for the meeting with all of the, everybody. The president of the foundation, took me aside and said, that cheese is really bad. We don't know what to do. The cheese is, this cheese factory, the income of this cheese factory is helping a school, a little private school from a monastery. So we really need this to work, because the income goes to support the children, which of course, I knew the monk that was running the school. So I was very excited. And I said, I don't understand, what are you asking me? I said, why are you Italian? Don't you know about cheese? And I'm like, no, I have no idea how to make cheese, just because I'm Italian. I'm like, anyway, so she said, can you do something? Can you just take this project over? And so I did, and I thought, why not? Let me try. And I ended up bringing some, I went back to Italy to the Slow Food Foundation, which at the time, all of that movement, the slow movement, slow. Sure. Slow knitting, slow cooking, slow nothing. At the time nobody was talking about. But I just took this smelly piece of cheese. I went to the main office there, and I said, I have a wonderful story and a smelly cheese. Can you help me? And I just basically literally stormed in this office, and people was like, who is this woman? And they said, sure, why not? And we hired some Italian cheesemakers. They had no idea where they were coming, And so I spent the rest of the few summers with them in the middle of nowhere on the grassland at 15,000 to 16,000 feet between yaks, the nomads, and a tent making cheese. So that's really how mYak started, because at one point, I think it was in the second summer, after we spent days, with all the the women milking and the nomads coming to bring the milk, making this cheese, which I had a huge appreciation to how to make cheese, because it took so long to just make something. I was thinking, I said, why can I eat it in 6 months? And we hired a veterinarian. So Andrea Dominici, who is my, the mYak co-founder, that's how we met. We just hired him to do some vet training. So, I had to learn all the terminology, because I was doing all the translation as well, and trying to move from between the cheesemaker and the veterinarian, talk to the women and everything else. And that's how, that's how Andrea and I became friends. And slowly the years passed by, and things got very complicated there. The government was asking the nomads to resettle and go and live in small villages, and they had to abandon the land, they had to abandon the animals, and they could, the animals could not roam freely anymore. And a lot of the nomads accepted that, because they had no other options. And somebody's asking if the yak cheese is good. It's excellent. It's like a pecorino cheese. If you know Italian pecorino cheese, it's so tasty. And the good things is that it's full of vitamin, of course, and calcium and minerals, and it's very easy to digest. So a lot of people that are allergic to cow's milk, like me, can have, take the female of the yak, the dri milk. Sorry, I just got a chop.
Love it.
And so, it was more and more difficult to do anything, like project-wise, as a not-for-profit. And so Andrea and I, we were talking to some of the nomads and said, what else can we do? Clearly, this cheese is not going to, make you rich or anything. How can we help you supporting your traditional lifestyle? You're losing a lot of the tradition. You're losing your lifestyle, your traditions. And so, it was during one of these long walk that on the grassland that Andrea and I love to do during the summer, that we saw a little boy coming towards us from the river. And, we're talking about a cold river, even in the summer. He had this little yak in his arms, and he came towards us, crossed the river, and said that he had heard there was a veterinarian on the grassland, and he had his yak was sick. Can Andrea fix it? And so Andrea, was like gentleman and everything. He took his gloves out, and I always say those days he was the only one with gloves. Now we all have gloves. We know exactly where to get our gloves. So he took his plastic gloves and he started analyzing the little yak, and he told me that the yak had parasites. And then he was rummaging through the hair and the undercoat and everything else, and he said, Paola, this is so soft. I never touched, like a yak so close, and come. Feel it. I was like, not really. I don't think I want to put my hands in the parasites. Yeah, take your word for it. And so anyway, we told the boy that we had some medicine back at the cheese factory. And the next day that he came to pick us up, and we hiked for like a few hours to find a tent. It's not that it's a street number or anything. So he had to come and get us. And, we got the animal was fine. And we sat down with, in the tent with this endless cup of tea. And we started discussing, it's like, what else can we do? We saw the fiber was a bit soft. And that's really how it started. We felt that the fiber was soft. Nobody was talking about yak fiber at the time. There was some yak fiber on the market that the nomads were giving away almost for free. Almost what happens with a lot of the sheep wool, that they just burn it because it's more expensive to try to use it than recycling it or do something with it. We took it to Italy, to the lab in Italy, and they told us that it was like as soft as cashmere. So we thought, hey, let's do something. So a veterinarian and a not-for-profit person, not knowing anything about fiber, textile, we just wanted to help. We just wanted, we just had this energy and this passion that we still have today. And we said, let's do it. Let's set up something. And we knew that we didn't want to be, it's like that company that produced something, goes away. I mean, we wanted to have the nomads involved. Ciao Federica, I see somebody that I know. A wonderful Italian store in Torino. and yarn store. So we wanted to make sure that the nomads, that community of people were part of the project. We just didn't want to do it on our own to try to make money selling fiber. So we set up the first cooperative. And the first time we explained about cooperative, they're like the red flags, literally red flags, thinking about, Communist Party and everything else. I was like, ooh. And so anyway, we did that. And we said, we are going to share the profits. We are going to buy the fiber straight from you. You have to collect it. We talked a lot about all the process, and that's really how it started. And so we started with hardly anything. We just, a few, and we didn't start with yarn as well. A lot of people always ask us, the yarn came much later. Oh, not much later, maybe 2 seasons later, a couple of years later.
So what did you guys start with?
We started with ready to wear.
Oh, sure.
So it was like scarves and stores. I don't have one here. Beautiful, really, really nice and super fine, all natural, because we didn't want to bleach. That's very important, which we don't do on the yarn as well. You have the yarn. We know we don't bleach at all. We just over dye it. And we also decided that we wanted to cut out the middlemen there, so that we buy straight from the cooperative. But we also wanted to cut out anything that was not Tibet related. So we ship the fiber to Italy. Of course, we are Italian. We want to make sure that, the best of the two worlds, the two cultures that we are so passionate about, came together. So we cut everything that was in between Tibet and Italy, the middle there. We just don't do that. And we also wanted to control the chain. Every step of the chain, we want to control it. We work with small mills in Italy that recycle the water. And somebody says, can't wait to have another night to remember, and Loop London night. Yeah, some of our events here, unfortunately, we can't have them anymore. And so we put that, those two words together, and we started the collection of ready to wear. But we soon understood that we were not made for the fast fashion world. We were trying to sell those to the fashion, to the market, the fashion week, and the stores love it. The quality set is unique. Is when is it? What is the next collection? It was like, we just made this. It was going to be another year before we can even think of making something different. Yeah. And it was too fast paced for us. And it was at that time that one of the person that was helping us with this collection said, I know somebody at Bog Knitting. Maybe let's try to see whether we could, you can look into that and see. And so we met this wonderful person, and they said, look, you can just knit with this thing. It's so beautiful. I mean, you see what you do with a machine knit. Can you imagine when you have it by hand? It's going to bloom in your hand. And I do remember saying to Andrea, I don't know if anybody knits these days. And that was the end of 2012.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And in the January 2013, we enrolled at the first Bog Knit Live.
Okay, wow.
And that's how it started. And we went with our skin. I remember they call it a chocolate booth. And because we had our brown, the natural brown, and the burgundy, which is over dyed on the brown. That's the only thing that we had, these two colors. Wow. And that's how mYak started.
Wow.
And just to answer one of the questions that I've seen, we only use the undercoat of the younger yaks, because the adult yak is much coarser. Also, the yak shed naturally in spring, so there's no shearing involved. There is no harm to the animal, and they would just lose it on the grassland. But nowadays, of course, we have to make sure that we get the best fiber that we can. So we taught the nomads how to select the different colors and how to separate and all of that.
Wow. So did you start with like, you know, some farmers and then it's like growing and
yeah,
expanding, or they're
yeah. I think the first group we had like 100 families. And if you think like of each family, it depends on, you know, how rich or poor they are as well in terms of herd of animals, but they could have like 100 yaks. And but we only collect from the younger yaks, so that maybe in 100 you're going to have 10 in the season, because they just, and then what happened, we take that fiber and we dehair it. So we separate the coarse hair. So from 100, let's say 100 grams, I'm not very good in anything else, in ounces or that, you know, it's like, well, I don't know. So let's say 100, whatever is yards or whatever, grams. We only obtain 25% of that. That's what we keep for our fiber. The rest is like a waste, but of course we don't want to waste it. So we give it back. So we give it back to the nomads, and they use it for stuffing mattresses for the monasteries. So it's like a recycling of the waste as well. So one animal, I think, is just maybe if one animal has like a 50 grams, like 50 to 100 grams for one yak, and of that, only 25% is what we keep because of the, you know, of that. So it took us a while to actually have quantities enough to open them to wholesale. Now we have over like 1,200 families, and we are trying to, we also work with 2 other cooperatives that we don't work directly with, but we source the fiber from.
Gotcha. Wow. So what do families do then when they've got a large herd that a lot of them are not going to be used for that kind of fiber? Are they used for more of that mattress stuffing, or they use the fibers for other things? Are they meat animals, or what do they do with the older animals?
Is they beat animal or eat? Oh, eat.
Well, eat.
Sorry. Oh, beats. I said, no, they don't beat them. So the yak is really, the yak is everything for the nomads. They, you know, so of course, the female, they have the milk, so they produce cheese, butter, meat. You know, Tibetans, they eat, that's basically their annual consumption. They eat dry meat in winter and boiled meat in summer.
Okay.
And because, you know, it's the grassland, so they don't have many vegetables. They have turnips and potatoes that goes with it. Yeah. So I've been a vegetarian in all my time in Tibet. I was a vegetarian, so I remember just endless turnip and potatoes and some carrots, but a lot of yogurt and the cheese as well. And but of course the fiber, traditionally the coarser hair was used to weave the black tents that you see in the pictures, the traditional black tent. Okay. So it was used to that, but also to use like not the whip, as you call it, the whip for the animals. Okay. Yeah. I don't know you call it that. And of the animal, they also use the dung, the yak dung. That's the combustible, the fuel. That's the only source of fuel that they have as well. Oh, so it's everything. But you know, the fiber when they share, they also sell that to the middlemen really cheaply. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of the yak fiber you find on the market has to be mixed with other fiber to make it soft. So that's why you have, you know, a yak and merino, or yak and bamboo, yak and something else, because the yak is very short, because it's not the best quality. And also then it gets bleached to obtain a light color. So that, you know, you can buy quantity, just you go online, you can just buy yak, white yak, which is like, yeah, sure, it's not real, you know, it's bleached. But,
gotcha. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And someone's asking if they can't wear mohair or alpaca, would it be better?
Yes. Yeah. Is the yak fiber, especially the one, the baby yaks, so the younger yaks, is hypoallergenic. You say that? Yeah. Yeah. Is so no, but I mean, so far in all of those years, we found 2 people that feels like they say they cannot, with their hand, they cannot knit with that. And we always say, just put a skein around your neck and see. You can put it so soft, you can put it close to your skin, and it's very breathable. Of course, it's very warm. You can think all these animals are at 50,000 feet. So, especially the undercoat, they have to keep. That's what they support. They don't go back to a stable. In winter, they're outside. They're outside all winter. And it's very warm, very soft. You just, the rain just poof. That's how the tent, if you think they are, they say, the waterproof almost. Yeah. I mean, don't go outside in the middle of the rain with just a yak sweater, but.
Yeah. So did you start with, which base did you start with? Was it the
because we didn't know anything about it, we would just listen to what people were saying. And what we did, we started with the 100% baby yak, which is exactly the same as what we have now. It's just we improved the quality of it. And we did the medium, which is almost a light worsted, the lace weight, and a chunky as well. Okay. But the chunk was using so much of our quantity, and we could only do like 2 colors and 4 colors, and it was very, very difficult to support. All of a sudden some people wanted, but we knew that we didn't want to increase the quantity fast because we needed to go at our own pace. For both of us was not our day job, and it still isn't, and a lot of people don't know. It's not our full-time job. I have a full-time job, and Andrea has a full-time job. So this is just what we do with every inch of our passion and time that we have. And, so taking over our life.
You're doing,
I mean,
you're amazing.
I mean, it seems like it is just a full, amazing team production, the whole thing. I don't know how you could do something else. Oh, that's a lot.
Well, it's and we have children. I mean, we all have, and so we do all of that. It's brutal. I'm sorry if I'm not able to keep up with all of the questions, but I'm sure that you will ask the question if there's anything. So we started with that. By the way, I brewed a cup of your tea.
Oh, I was just gonna say, did you just brew some coffee so you could?
Yay!
Oh,
it's my favorite. Not because I'm on. It's just I had this for so long. This is my second tea. I love it.
I'm so glad.
It comes me in the evening, so I have 1 tea at home and 1 tea here in the office.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Oh.
And I did say that I have a full-time job outside of mYak. Yes, I did say that. And we are a small team. It's 4 of us. Me in the US, just me. And we have 3 people in Italy. Andrea travels back and forth. I haven't traveled to Tibet for a while. And we have 1 person, actually, it's 4.5, helping us in Tibet.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's insane. That's insane. Well, you pull it off like it's a huge team. Yeah.
It looks like, goodness good no. It's so, I always say when, stores, I think that one of the wonderful things is that stores, I think most stores know about it. And so when I say I can only ship like in a week, I cannot get there, they understand. And, but sometimes people place orders on a website and the day after they say that I didn't get a shipping notification. I'm like, why, did you place an order? Like, it's going to be a week before I even get there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So
then, I guess I don't even know. Do you knit? Did you pick up hand knitting?
Yeah.
that was my question.
That was your question. So I learned how to knit when I was very young, and my mom, my neighbor, they all knitting, and my mom was a wonderful knitter, actually. My sister knits. And then I stopped because I was just traveling around. Literally, I travel all around the world, and, so I stopped there. But I never really knit very complicated things. It was mainly scarves and, like hats, simple things. And then I got pregnant, like, it happens to a lot of people. And I got all excited about, I'm going to do a full wardrobe.
Oh.
I went to Perso. I was already in New York. That was in 2000 and 13. So I went to Perso, got some yarn there, and Andrea said, why don't you knit, with our yarn? I'm like, get in there. I was like, I don't know, our yarn, we have to sell it. It's too precious. So anyway, I got some yarn there, and also it's like, and I started knitting again. And I don't have much time. I'm a super slow knitter. I actually have my, knitting bag over there. I thought if I get early, I can just put a few rows. I start color work, which I love. I'm knitting one of Jennifer Steingast design right now. Mm. And, but I do knit. I knit, I love everybody. I love all of that. I cannot say one name, not to say the other names, but I do knit. I wish I had time to knit more, but I don't.
Right. Sure. Well, that's great. Well, that's cool too that you had, it was already almost, family history. It was already a piece of something that you came from. And then oddly enough, it kind of came back around. That's really cool. That's wonderful.
And so going back to your question before, so we started with the baby yak, and then people start asking us whether we had a more less warm yarn. And you can wash it, yes. I think Federica, thank you for answering that question. Somebody was asking if you can wash it. Yes, you can wash it. You just actually, and we always say when you get when you get a skein in your hand, you feel it one way, but when you actually block it, wash it first, soak it like overnight. Sometimes I always say, unless it's a lot of color work, just add some vinegar just to make sure, even 24 hours, and it really blooms, because we don't add anything. We don't add paraffin or anything else during the process. So you really have the quality of the fiber while you knit with it, and it becomes softer while you knit. Mm-hmm. And then after that, so some people were asking us about lighter yarn, so we decided to do the mix, which I think you have as well, the baby yak and silk.
No, we don't.
We don't have it in the shop right now.
Spring is coming. So we made these mini skeins because they're good for color work. It's different colors. I just show you this so that you can see. It's really, really nice because it's still warm, but good for the summer as well. So it's 50% baby yak and 50% silk.
And you said,
yeah.
Is it lace or is it fingering weight?
It's a light fingering.
Okay.
It's a light fingering, and we are actually. This is one of the things I knit there. You see my ends still, but this is the Time Trades by Caitlin Hunter.
Gorgeous.
So that's one of the things I knit. And if somebody comes in and fix the ends, that would be good. And I don't do that.
When you find that person, you
pass their name along.
Send them. Yep, send them on.
Yeah. And so we did that, and it went really, really well. And then I'm always, Andrea always say that I wake up in the morning with too many ideas, and I should not go on WhatsApp and just give them all of this information that comes off my head. But for quite a while, I kept asking, there's so many sheep, beautiful, majestic horned sheep in Tibet. Why can't we do something with their wool? And Andrea said, no, they're it's too coarse. They use it for carpets. It's very complicated. Can't do it. And I kept nagging him. And I said, can we just try? Until he came back one season and he said, you know what, I think, because you think about the wool, you shear it and then you use the wool, and he said, you know what, we are going to try to dehair it. We're going through the same process that we use for the baby yak. So we are going to separate all the coarse hair from the soft hair, and we did, and we came up with, and I think you have that one. Do you have?
We do.
That one. So, no. Well, you might have it soon. So for the people, maybe. This is the Tibetan cloud. Sorry, this is the other way around. So this is 100% Tibetan wool. Is a local sheep. It's not crossbred with any other, so there's no merino or no New Zealand, nothing else. It's a Tibetan sheep. And is 100-gram skeins in a light decay sport, which is really good. And is great for sweaters. Is this one that I have on is in Tibetan Cloud. This is the Sheridan Square by Kirsten Kapoor. On the back there, you have the Caribou Hill sweater by Caitlin Hunter, and we have the beautiful hat, the feather, which I think you had Jill on your.
Yes, talking about loving using your stuff.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
This is gorgeous. I love it. She doesn't know that I'm not going to return this to her. So if she's listening, if you're there,
No,
getting it.
No, she knows now.
Yeah. And she started. I think she started with the hat, the feather hat, and the story behind those hats absolutely gorgeous because it's the feather design. That is a feather that her son. Oh, there she is. A feather that her son had in his room. Sorry. And so she started with this with just 2 skeins. You can make both the beanie and this version. And then she went on to do the cow. And she said, I'm most curious about that. Yeah, not getting it back. She doesn't know. It's not here. Sorry. And, but, that one is really good. You can do so much with that. We did color work. The Isabel Kramer Tiberius sweater is also designed with that. And good things to do because you have the mYak. What we did, if you mix the cloud with the lace, it becomes a true decay.
Okay.
And then if you play with colors like we did, this is solid. This is our solid colors.
Wow.
But you can play and do marlin. So this is the Cinnabar Shawl by Andrea Maury. And this, you can just do absolutely wonderful. We love playing with solid, and it started with the Glom cardigan by Caitlin Hunter, which here. And we put, because it was in a beautiful marlin color, which I don't remember the yarn, to be honest. And I said, I want that. But we didn't have it, because we have solid. So we played around. I have somebody here, Amy, helping me. And we made all these watches with the cloud and the lace together. She made. I said she did. Like over 30 swatches. She needs a lot. And we saw that this marlin works so well together. And so we started doing a lot of the marlin so much that then we went back to also our lace. If you see here, this is a 2-strand of the lace, the chocolate and the desert.
Love it.
In the lace becomes it's become a beautiful fingering, and that's also the Snow Dronigan by Isabel Kramer. We're a big fan of Isabel, clearly. Yeah, so but just by using solid, it's I have like bag of.
The colors too. The palette in each of these projects that are coming out are just
the whole palette goes so well together. And I think that it seems like, from our experience in seeing different yarns, it feels like, because the base color is that natural brown, it really blends everything together.
I think the way we started, the way I approach color, I'm the one coming out with a color palette as well. And I think because we cannot do 30 colors, or we cannot have a new color every 6 months, or we are not a hand dyer. We cannot have like this color, that color. We don't work like that. And which is beautiful, the fact that they can do it. And so I want to make sure that somebody that buys a skein, it doesn't matter what color you put together, you just grab a few and they all go together. I think for us, in a ways like the Buddhist philosophy, that everything has to be like in synergy and committed and everything together, melting together. But it's important to us because we don't have 60 colors. So if you have a yarn, if you buy a skein and you have something that is left over, I want to make sure that you can use that leftover to maybe make mitts or a hat, and they can go, you can use them for color work all together, so you don't waste it.
Right. And that's what when
So
you've been
clever.
saying, I mean, those, using the different bases and straining them together and using another one for color work and some for the body is so beautiful. And yeah, I love that. That's really
well,
awesome.
and it plays it's a continuation on the entire life philosophy of using it, you know,
All the pieces.
everything, all
Yeah.
the pieces, all
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I think one of the good things about it that we want to make sure of the quality is that the baby yak, especially, but also the Tibetan cloud, it doesn't peel. So, and our cashmere as well, our new cashmere that we have, the new line of cashmere that we have, the Raku Fyokodi cashmere, which you don't have either yet. So that is our cashmere as well. And they don't peel because we do that dehairing. So we, you know, and the yarn that is left over doesn't go to waste. But that's one of the reasons why when you touch a cashmere, it's a feel a bit cottony, and they say, oh, you don't have all that fluffy thing. That fluffy thing is what goes to waste. But a lot of the cashmere on the market has that, and that's what does all the peeling. Because of course, cashmere is expensive, so the more you put there, the more you keep of the yarn at the source, the more money you make. But we don't want to do that.
Right.
So.
I love it. And I remember just I mean, I've only done the one project with the mYak, but it is, I mean, the skein is already so soft. But then once you're done and you block it and you, just the bloom and softness that comes out is just magic. It's like,
it's like feeling, it's really like wearing a cloud. This is the baby yak medium that you have.
Oh, that's so gorgeous.
And this is the Esther by Camilla Vard. It's it really is like wearing, you know, it's wearing so much that the sample knitted that made this, she made it for herself and she lent it to me. She didn't get it back. I just buy this one off you straight there because I don't want to send it back. That's how I deal with samples. But
fair.
And I think you have the because you have the baby yak there. I think one of the newest project that came out with it is the Hug Hug Kiss Kiss show, and I think you have all the yarn available for this one by Andrea Maury. So it's this also is nice and super nice and soft. And the good things about the sweaters in the baby yak that you have is they're not heavy at all. It's so light on your shoulder that when you go out, even in winter, you can just layer them up. I layer this above a sweater and then I have a vest on top, and I feel warm, but I breathe because it's breathable, and you know it's really good on my shoulders.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
It's wonderful.
Very cool. So how many, I mean, I haven't even counted. How many bases is that now you guys have?
So we have the baby yak, the Tibetan cloud, the baby yak silk, and the cashmere. And we are coming out in, which we are going to send you the email very soon. So you really hear it before anybody else here. We are coming out in, I think it's a month and a half with baby yak cotton for the summer.
Wow.
Very nice. Will that be, what weight will that be?
The same light fingering, same mini skeins. So it will be mini skeins so they can go together with this as well.
Ooh.
So, you know, it took us a while to find the organic cotton that we wanted and everything else. So it's like, you know, it always takes us time to see things. And somebody was asking, you know, about, we have some limited edition colors that we offer. And I think that was the way for us to launch a new color on the market and see how people like it or don't like it. And, you know, and if people do like it, maybe next season or whenever we have more yarn available we will make it available. So, you know, I know you don't have it, we have, this is the color of the month, which is brick dust. Beautiful. Which, you know, almost sold out. So, but people loved it so much that I think that we will have to bring it in. But to bring this in, I have to take something out. And it's like babies, you know, which baby do you give up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I have to give up my baby? And that's always, you know, when I develop new colors, I always have to ask Andrea and Carlotta, who is in charge of the production, how many colors can I have? And they say 10, or can I have 15? No, 2, not, you know, it's like a battle to try to make that. And I always make more. You know, and then we come up with, you know, like a few colors here and there.
Cool. Oh, that's cool. So you do, so with, I mean, that's got to be an interesting game to play. You're getting all your yak once a year, basically, or just the once, and then kind of having to decide how you're splitting it into your bases and which one it's going to go towards, or just depending on what stock you have and that game. And
yeah, which is always a risky game, because we, you know, we have the three, let's say the baby yak, we have 3 bases. So we have the chocolate. So 85% of the yaks are this color.
Okay.
Then you have the desert and the oatmeal. So the oatmeal is very rare. It's very difficult to find it. And people don't understand. They say, you know, can I have like, can't have 100 skeins of that. So I don't have it even myself. So, and whatever color is on this base. So when we go, we say to the nomads, of course, we don't just want to buy this, because we are a social venture. So for us, the important thing is to make sure that they have the income. So we buy a lot of the chocolate as well, which is the most common one. And the other things that people don't understand is that because we don't bleach, each season the colors can be different. And you know, some people do complain. And oh, you know, I bought your night flower 2 years ago, or even like last year, is not the same. So of course it's not the same, because the base is not the same. So this is oatmeal of 3 seasons.
Right. Yeah, I do remember seeing,
Yeah. And I'm saying, look, you know, this is beautiful this season, just go with it. Whatever is dyed on this one is going to be darker, and next season, I don't know. So if you want a sweater quantity and you have it, you know, go to your store and get your sweater quantity. If you love that color, just get it. And so, you know, that's very important for us. I'm not going to bleach this to obtain that.
No. Right.
I'd rather not.
How many colors do you like? So you've got those 3 colors. How many colors do you split over those? You get probably a couple colors over the chocolate. I mean, you do.
We have 4 colors over the chocolate. So we have the midnight blue, the black, the moss, and the burgundy.
Okay.
And then we have most of the colors on the desert.
Okay.
And then a few colors on the oatmeal, just because with the oatmeal is so beautiful, natural. Then we try whatever we have natural, we keep natural. And we have the, you know, my favorite pink, of course, if I grab it. So these are the color that we dye on the oatmeal.
Okay.
So, yeah, so the dusty pink, the saffron, the ochre, and the emerald.
Okay. And does any of that change, like if the oatmeal this season comes out much darker? Do you?
Yeah. So I'll show you this. This is the dusty pink.
Yeah.
These are the 3 dusty pink that were dyed on those 3 oatmeal.
Yeah.
And or the night flower, which is also the night flower, which is dyed on the desert, on the darker base. Okay. But this was last season, and this is this season. Mm-hmm. You know, it's brighter because the desert was brighter this year. So it all depends. I mean, on the cloud is different, you know, because that's what we get more or less. This is the base, so the colors can be more consistent. Or when you do the yak silk, we can sort of adjust the coloring of the base. And so this is our base, and you know, it could be a little bit darker, but that's the base. Mm-hmm. Or you know, the cashmere as well. It could be this is the base of the cashmere. Mm. But the baby yak is, you know, and you know, without going into the scientific reasons. I mean, the weather. I mean, you know, our hair changes.
Exactly. Yep.
Our hair change. The yak hair change as well.
And the herd. You're using the young animals, so that those animals change.
Yeah, it depends on, you know, the weather, the nutrition, what you didn't find certain herbs or something else. Yeah. And I know you had you're doing a giveaway today?
Yes, for a kit with that.
Yes.
I thought I'd just show you this as you're doing that. So this is a beautiful way of trying the baby yak, because it's one skein in different colors. And again, you see the dusty pink is much darker than the one I've just showed you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so that's that's the Moonway Cowl by Andrea Maury, which is a really lovely pattern. And so that's a nice way, to and you have it. So it's just one skein each, 4 skein, 4 colors, and it's really nice. This is also Olga Boraya Kefelian. That's a nice cholette
Beautiful.
to put on.
Someone was asking, how has COVID been going for the nomad crew over there? Are they doing
So
okay?
it's at the beginning, everything was closed, and I think like everybody else, we freaked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, we were really lucky that we actually we were sort of unlucky at the beginning because we got hit 3 times. We got hit in Tibet with China closing down.
Right.
And so everything was blocked there. So when things are moving there, Italy closed down, all of the mills and everything else. And then it hit New York. So we could not ship anything. So it was like we were following, so it was harder for us because the source, the production, and the distribution, in a way, everything was the good thing is that Tibetan got really protected by the mountains, and they were not affected. There were a few cases in the area where we were, but nobody that we know suffered, none of the families. I mean, they suffered for other reasons.
Yeah. Right.
And I think what happened is at one point, we had in March is where we give them the cash advance for the year, and that's important. They rely on that cash advance. And so March came, and we didn't have the money. We didn't have the money to buy the fiber. And we said, that's what do we do, besides getting loans and everything else. And that's how we actually made a huge sale of our ready-to-wear that we still had, which is, still on special. So whatever is left is on special on the website. We just sold everything we had at just to raise the cash so that we could give the cash to the nomads and say, whenever you're ready, just, we will come back and get the fiber. So, but because it's only once a year, we tell them how much do we need, and then we need to decide, as you were saying. Sometimes we win and sometimes we lose. Meaning, sometimes we know, there is like a well-known designer that decides to use a particular color that we didn't think was going to go that year, and then we are, can't say the word, but that's where we are. So it's. But it's a game of patience as well.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. So cool. Well, before we lose you, we just want to let everyone know we are that beautiful cowl that she showed from Andrea. We do have a giveaway for that cool kit for all of our fun viewers. So we are going to keep up with doing the drawing goes the next day on the website. It kind of alleviates the stress, I think, for everyone because they don't get kicked off. So that'll be tomorrow morning for all of you viewers. Can come on to the Wool and Honey website. If you go to the menu bar under events, you'll see Making Comfort and Joy giveaway, and you can just enter your name in for that awesome giveaway and play with some mYak. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What is the name of the shawl that you're wearing currently?
This is the Sei cowl, SEI, by Olga Boraya Kefelian, and there are 2 versions. One is in 1 color and one is in big color, 2 colors. So in the baby yak medium, which you have, that's why I put it on. I think so your audience can see. This was a pattern that was done by Olga for our Cora Club. That was limited, but she released it in both 2 colors and in 1 color, and it's so nice. And plus is Olga is it's wonderful. It's wonderful to see her.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jill. I see Jill. But if I can just say, I just want to thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. But I want to say thank you to you too, because Wool and Honey has been on a list of the stores that we wanted to be in, like a dream stores, for such a long time. And I do remember the time where you know what? I don't know which one is Liz and one is Melissa. You're Liz, yeah?
Yes, I'm Melissa.
Rhinebeck. It was so
in Rhinebeck. So when you came into our booth at Rhinebeck and you said, you know, I'm from Hole and Honey, I think my heart skipped a bit because I was like,
nervous meeting you.
and you know, it took us a while to figure things out and everything else. But I admire what you do in your mind. I admire what you stand for as a store. The way that you work, the way you work with brands, like small brands like ourselves. So it was a dream for us to be in your store, and when we got there, we were super happy. So I'm really honored that you asked me to be with you tonight as well.
Thank you. We
feel so
Yes.
lucky that you're here and that you wanted to do this tonight. But
it was so cool to hear about this journey that you've been doing and all the amazing work to touch those lives and that awesome culture over there. So
it really makes me want to work more with mYak.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to
Thank
do
you.
more and more.
Exactly.
So
and knit with them more and more and more.
But thank you so much for having me. It's you know, you got me out of the house.
yes, and
Yes, good luck.
when things are better and safer, we would love you to come and
Yes.
visit.
It would
We'd
be
love you to come.
I mean, all the pictures that you have of that lake, and I love all those stones that you collect and you make things with it. So, you know, each time you post them, it's like, I want to go there. I just want to be there.
Exactly.
So that would be nice to make it happen.
Yes.
Yep. We'll love it.
When you're ready, we're ready.
Yep, we're ready to knit with you. So cool. All right, well, have an
thanks so
awesome
much,
evening.
Paola. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you so much.
For a wonderful evening. Bye.